On this channel, $1 Million Made Easy, we love to run numbers for people. What we do is look at what the S&P 500 has done for the last 100 years and project ahead what it might do in the future. Basically just using returns, and we just look at all the different possibilities and we end up with a certain range. Let's show you how this works. Let's say, for example, somebody is just getting out of college, haven't been able to save anything for retirement, but they can put away $200 a month, and they have committed to increasing that by 3% a year. So in other words, $200, 206. Let's see where they might be in all these different time periods. This shows you how much money was put in over each of these periods, over 20, 25, 30, and so on. If this person's 20 in his early 20s, he's basically got 40 to 45 years until he retires. And so what we did is run the numbers. If the numbers were like 1924, these would be the numbers. After 20 years, you'd have 108,000, which is right here. 25 years, 206, and it goes across here. I did it for every single year. Again, the future returns aren't going to be identical to any of these, but they can give us a good range, a good idea of what the market might provide, the S&P 500 might provide in the coming years. So look at this. If somebody's in early 20s, over a 40-year period, they would have put in 180,000. And in this column, this shows you the returns for every 40-year period beginning in each of these years. And the minimum you're going to find in this column is $1.240 million. That's contributing just $200 a month. The median in this column is 1.884. But I want you to notice that he's got, if you're 20, 22, your full retirement age is until 67. You actually have 45 years. Then the minimum you're going to see in this column for the 45-year returns over the last 100 years, the worst case scenario is 2,018,000, with the median being 3.298. Now we always want to take into account inflation. What with inflation, if you had a 3% inflation, which is what it's historically been for the last 100 years, what would this $2 million have in buying power in 45 years? I'd have 618,000. But look at the median. The median, 3.298, would have a buying power of $1,011,000. That's just with $200 a month. Okay, let's say you're a little bit older. Say you're, instead of 22, you're 32, but you've been able to accumulate some. That's what we like to do on this channel, is run numbers. Let's say you've been able to accumulate $25,000, and you've been able to work your way up so you can contribute $350 a month. Well, let's do $300 a month. That's what we can do. We can vary these amounts, whatever you want me to run. Let's see where an individual might be. Now they've only got 30 and 35 years because they're already 32. In the 35-year column, you'll see this individual would have put in 242,000, but the minimum would be 1.806 million, with the median being 2.637, and you can see the inflation adjusted numbers there. So in other words, get started young. Otherwise, you're going to have to put more in. Instead of $200 a month, you need to put in $300 a month. Let's just do 350 real quick here. For the same scenario, starting with 25,000 for a 32-year-old maybe that has 35 years. Now we see the minimum, $350 a month. The minimum in this column would be 2 million, and the median would be almost 3 million. Again, there's the inflation adjusted numbers there. Let's continue on in this scenario. Let's say we want to see somebody that's got, maybe they're 40 years old, maybe only have 25 years, but let's say they've been able to save up 75,000, and they can contribute $500 a month. Let's go ahead and update this. And we'll be looking at the 25-year column now. 25-year column, you would put in 293,000 with this scenario, beginning with 75,000, putting in $500 a month, increasing that by 3% here. And yet again, the minimum you're going to see in this column actually is right there, 1924 $1 million, $1,015,000, and the median in this column is 1.753. That's what we like to do on this channel. But if nothing else you've learned, you need to get started young. Takes a lot less when you get started young. We saw what $200 could do over a 45-year period. We saw what $300 could do over a 35-year period. And we saw what $500 a month could do over a 25-year period. Starting at 22, 32, and 42, with different amounts, but we can change any of these. I love to run numbers for people. You want me to run numbers? Just these three criteria. What's your beginning balance? How much you want me to inflate it each year, the amount you're putting in, and of course, how much you're putting in each year. And we'll go ahead and run the numbers for you, and it'll give you a good idea, a good range of what you might have in the future using the S&P 500 returns from the past. Please consider subscribing. Please share this with people. I just wish it was this was mandatory for every high school and college student. They could see how little it can take, like $200 a month, and we can get you over. S&P 500 could get you over $1 million just using what the history of the S&P 500 has done in the past. Please consider subscribing, share this with friends, and please like the video. And thanks for watching.